Hey, watch this episode on YouTube.
Two dudes watch cartoons. Two dudes watch cartoons. Two dudes watch cartoons. Two dudes watch cartoons. Yeah.
Welcome back to Two Dudes Watch Cartoons, the podcast where two dudes, that is us, watch cartoons. My name is Evan.
And my name is Alex. Welcome back. Welcome to another wonderful episode we're going to be covering today. Just wanted to shout out at the top. You guys have been so great. Every time we ask, we're doing a big push on YouTube. We've been doing it for a while. If you don't follow us on YouTube, please go hit follow. Super appreciate that. But getting just right into it, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about this with you because, well, we'll get into it. But there's a lot of reasons. But today, we are covering new Amazon Prime show. Came out earlier this month. It is called Batman the Caped Crusader. Oh, it's just called Batman Caped Crusader. Drop the. It's cleaner.
The summer of superhero stuff continues.
That's right, summer of superheroes. It was not 100% intentional, I promise everyone. It just kind of happened this way.
Just kind of happened, and then we saw the through line. I was like, why not? Why
just
not?
go with it. This is the last one, though. We're going to give you a break after this. But thanks for sticking with us. Fuck it. We love Batman. It's hard to beat. It's hard to beat Batman.
Now, this is notably created by Bruce Timm, who is behind the much beloved Batman the Animated Series. It's the gold standard of Batman, I would say.
Animated shows, it's the gold standard. Yeah. No, I totally agree. It really gives you those Batman the Animated Series vibes. Real 90s vibes. For the whole thing is based, I don't know what, in the 30s?
The 40s?
40s? Yeah.
I think so.
Not a cell phone in sight. It was glorious. And you know what I realized is setting it in this time period really focused on the parts of Batman that we love. Like, he didn't use a ton of gadgets and gizmos, which is fun, but like, he was like, I'm a detective.
It gets to the core of what Batman is, which, we can get to that. One thing about the series, though, it's streaming on Amazon Prime. Batman, obviously, a DC Warner Brothers property. This series was not originally intended to be on Amazon Prime. It's one of those things that got tossed up in the air in the Warner Bros. Discovery corporate shuffle.
Oh, are you serious?
It was almost off the slate entirely, and Amazon picked it up, which I think genius move. But how bad of dire straits do you have to be in to give up, the follow-up essentially to one of the greatest animated works of all time? Like, it's got to be pretty bad.
It's really wild how Warner Brothers was sort of just like doing whatever they wanted. And when they decided they needed to change, they like dropped all the cool shit. They were like, oh, get rid of all this stuff that might work. Like, you know what I mean? Because like this would have been a hit. It was Amazon Prime's number one. It still might be. It was number one the day it dropped and like all week. So
98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it debuted at 100, but it's sitting at a 98% right now. Warner Bros. David Zaslav, you fucked up. You done goofed. Up.
We're top loading it. We're going to be talking a lot about David Zaslav. I didn't even realize this was part of that whole kerfuffle, if you will. He's going to be coming up a lot, I believe, towards the end of this podcast. So that is fucking appalling. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's especially like I'm sure he sleeps fine at night. Fuck that guy, but
how do you sleep?
Especially after like the huge smash hit that X-Men 97 is, and like they just let that slip through their fingers. They're like, oh, it won't make its money back.
These execs don't understand the market.
Yeah.
All of us that love these superhero movies grew up on superhero cartoons.
Batman the animated series specifically.
Batman the animated series specifically, like it's just there is still this constant disrespect around animation, and it's not even always like blatant. It's like subconscious. Like you know what I mean? Like they just don't take it seriously.
Yeah. And I almost had to like catch myself with some biases coming in, because I don't know if it's because it's Bruce Timm's style, which I attached to the show in my childhood.
Yeah.
But like first episode, I like immersing myself back into that style. I was like, this does look a little cartoonish, which like, it's not a bad thing. It looks great, looks phenomenal. But I was like, it's a little darker in tone, it's noir. It's not like a kid's show. They got real guns. They're shooting people. People are getting grazed by bullets like Donnie Trump. But like, it's not.
We're breaking up Tenacious D style. How dare you? Just kidding. Totally kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. It was I guess jarring for me. It was like the juxtaposition of like this child thing from my childhood, but sort of in a more serious tone.
I do think episode 1, I don't know if I want to say it's the weakest, but it is the one I was least invested in, if that makes sense. It was not until episode 2 where I was like, oh, this is really cooking. And look, you guys know me, proud feminist. I did not like Oswaldo Cobblepot. Something about seeing the Penguin flirt and like sexy dance. Nah, I'm sorry, that's just not the Penguin. Like if it was honestly just the flirting and the sexy dancing. That was the only two issues I had with it.
BBW Penguin was crazy. Like,
yeah, and then, it was crazy.
And then add that on top of, for this more grounded quote unquote, add that on top of a giant cannon.
I knew that was your
offshore.
issue. I knew. I actually kind of liked the giant cannon. It brought me back to a cartoony era. I don't know if this is a hot take. To me, this is actually a weird combination of like Batman the Animated Series, and there feels like there's a little bit of like Batman the Brave and the Bold in there. Like,
yes,
there's a little bit of that camp, a little bit of the villain of the week run into a different maybe hero of the week, which we'll get into that in a minute. But I do think the first episode, when you were like, and I was like, how many of you watched? You were like, just the first one. I was like, keep going. Because I really think in episode 2, it picks up its footing.
Yeah, they definitely hit their stride. And so, a fair warning to other people who maybe have not revisited the animated series in a long time. This is totally apart from that. So much so that when Bruce Timm was originally approached, he was given carte blanche to essentially do a sequel, follow-up, continuation of the animated series, and he was like, nah, been there, done that. Baller move on his part.
I was actually confused. I didn't understand that headline fully. I was like, didn't he end up making the show? But it was more so, no, it's the follow-up aspect. He's like, I'm not continuing that. We've been there, we've done that, let's do something new. I love it.
Props to him. But that first episode is a little more on the campy side, and what I think they're going for is like,
it was
being truer in tone to the comics in the 40s, which I can't.
The golden era of
them.
Batman is what a lot of this is based on. When I was doing my light research today, essentially all of the design work, the costumes,
even BBW Penguin,
even BBW Penguin, that is all golden era.
That's why Batman was flying off the shelf.
I hate to be that guy because I know how there's a certain crowd out there that hates gender bending people's roles, and I honestly don't mind that, but this one just personally did not work for me.
Yeah, it was a miss for me.
I feel like there's so many other villains you could do that with, but like the Penguin does not feel like. I'm picturing like Danny DeVito literally eating fucking like eating a fish, and like Oswald is like, "Come back anytime, honey," and I'm like, "No."
Someone do Danny DeVito's Penguin, but with the Gandalf big boob Photoshop job. Insert now.
Okay, so the first episode sets the scene though. We get like the usual players. There's. I thought this was interesting. Pennyworth. Why? No, almost
Did he not go
no.
by Alfred?
Almost not until the very end. He did not call
Okay.
him Alfred. He called him Pennyworth, and I think it was intentional. But at
Keeping the
first, I was like,
mustache.
"The fuck is this?" I was like, "What? Yeah, why are we keeping this so professional between you two?" I think it actually served a purpose, but it confused me at 1st.
Mhm.
And then we get Jim Gordon, and in this one, we have his daughter Barbara Gordon, who is a DA. DA? Yeah, she's
I think she's just an attorney. She doesn't work
she's
for
just
the
a
DA's
prosecutor.
office.
Yeah,
she's a
yeah.
prosecutor. Yeah.
Or no, not a prosecutor. She's a
She's a
defense
lo-
attorney.
Yeah.
A defense attorney working in not cahoots, cohorts with like Harvey Dent, who is
Mhm.
running for mayor. And this is new for Barbara. I don't know if she's ever been a lawyer. I really liked it.
One of the things I applaud about the show is that they kept it tight knit, even though there's like a little bit of an adventure of the week. Like you sort of have the same 4 or 5 main players throughout the all of season 1, and you get to like each of them get to kind of grow in their own way. It felt like a crime serial. You know what I mean?
It did. It feels like Law and Order, but add Batman's part to it. You know, yeah. And so, Barbara Gordon, famously though, is Batgirl.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think we were getting Batgirl this season?
No, you know who I think was more likely for us to have gotten would have been Renee Montoya, The Question.
I was wondering if you caught it or not, because it actually took me like an episode or two. I was like, oh my God, Renee Montoya, I know that name. I am a big Question fan, and she is the second Question where she takes up the mantle. The Question is a faceless dude in a brown trench coat that goes around paranoid as fuck, solving mysteries. It's great. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna go through some of these actually while we're talking about it. We had Barbara Gordon, who's Batgirl. We had Renee Montoya, who is The Question. We even had Eli O'Brien, he was the photographer that Batman used, which this is never his roles, but Eli O'Brien is Plastic Man in the comics.
Well,
all these names are ringing a bell every time. Then we have Harley Quinn. She shows up. She mentions her old professor Crane, who is Scarecrow.
Scarecrow, yeah.
And then there was also even a Deadshot. Will Smith. It was the guy who tried to shoot Detective Gordon at the start of the episode, like on the steps. That was Floyd, whatever his name is. That's Deadshot. That's Will Smith.
Okay. I missed that one.
There was so many, and I just think I mean there was all the Robins. There was every single Robin, not every single one, but but there's 4 of the bajillion Robins.
Yeah.
And I just was like waiting. I was like, "Oh, are we getting like some of these characters?" And we got almost none of them. I would argue we got one. One transformed into their character. We'll get into that. Harley Quinn.
Okay, yeah.
Started off as his psychiatrist, and I think this is
Quinzel.
actually one of the peaks of the show. We can get into it. But everyone else remained their street name, which was like such an interesting decision. Did you like? I guess that's what I'm getting at. Is like I thought these were all coming. Did you?
I think they're laying the groundwork in season 1, and I applaud the restraint because a weaker showrunner would have thrown them all in or a handful in costume. You know what I mean? I guess,
Yeah.
And that's what makes this show so fun is you get they're in the story. It's not an Easter egg. Like it's more than a Marvel cameo. Like
there's not
they play a part in the episode or the story, like the overarching season, and they're laying groundwork for what I assume is season 2 because they leave off like a cliffhanger. Yeah.
Gotta be.
Gotta
Crime
be
Against Humanity. Oh, with all these setups?
Yeah.
With all of these setups? There's a setup an episode.
Yeah. Here's my question. Zooming back out to the corporate meta landscape. Who determines if a season 2 gets made? Who funds it? Like, because it would still need to be Warner Bros. Animation who's making it, but then, does Amazon have to commission it? I don't know. How do these things work?
Bringing up some good points here. I don't know.
That would be maybe the one sort of question that makes me less hopeful.
Yikes. I see what you're getting at, though.
Yeah.
Um, damn. I desperately want season 2. Like I said, there was so much setup.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of like protagonist characters, a lot of adapted villains. Harley Quinn's obviously, I would say, the highlight of this season. Were there any other villains that came in particularly enjoyed?
The second episode, what really got me was the whole Clayface mystery. I was right along the whole time, like, who is doing this? I didn't know his name was Basil Carlo in the comics, so like that was a surprise to me. That was great. I absolutely loved that, and it's different than like the giant Clayface monster sometimes we get, and I really enjoyed that. And then the other one, which just was like absolutely shocking to me, was Gentleman Ghost, which is a regular in Batman the Brave and the Bold. I literally could not believe we had a supernatural episode. But
there's two, kind of.
Yeah, yes, there was two. Yeah, no, I'll give you that. Yeah. So I would say, besides Harley, Gentleman Ghost fucking stole the show that episode, because like he is for some reason one of the main villains that Batman the Brave and the Bold runs into, like on the
he's
reg.
Like peak camp.
Yeah, probably. But I was just like, I was so shocked to see him, and I was like so positive we were going to get John Constantine, but it was a John Constantine villain that he ended up talking to.
I didn't know who that was.
I'm
we've
blanking
reached
on his
the
name
outer
right
bounds
now.
of my DC universe
he's
knowledge.
a long time beef with John Constantine, so maybe that's how they get introduced. But yeah, he went, which was interesting in and of itself. So, but like it was stuff like that made me say like, this is kind of like Batman the Brave and the Bold.
I know. Yeah. So
he's like, I love this episode where he's like, I don't believe in ghosts, and he's like, I love a man that could like expand his mind. And then him and Arthur are like slinging these Sherlock Holmes quotes back at one another, and I was like, oh, it was like a rap battle. I was like, this episode is amazing.
Yeah, I'll that episode, the first handful are pretty. Maybe the first half of the season is more campy because you're doing the adventure of the week, getting immersed in the world. The Clayface episode, they're like fencing for one bit, and it's fun. It feels 40s.
Batman the Brave and the Bold through it through. When they start fencing and they're going up the stairs, I was like, dude, this is peak Batman. This is what I love about Batman the Brave and the Bold is like, yeah, he's the world's greatest detective, but he's going like on adventures through space and time and like whatever, and he just handles whatever situation. Throw a sword in his hand, he's dueling. Like I love that about Batman.
Yeah. And so again, if you haven't watched the show yet, if you're planning to, just like know that going in, it's gonna be a little like people are talking about it as this very grounded, gritty show. I feel like that's sort of the analysis, but no, you're getting 40s camp comic, and it's fun. It is fun.
It's
once
fun,
you level that expectation.
What did you think of the Catwoman take? Once again, another design straight out of the golden era, just like Batman the Animated Series, looked just like her. Because I was like, what is this dress Catwoman's wearing? And when I looked it up, I was like, damn, she's wearing a dress a lot. Yeah. I was like, I am more used to the Anne Hathaway now, Halle Berry.
That was a fun episode. I wish we got more like that. I wish that was a character we could have seen go throughout, but I guess she ends up in jail.
So you like when Batman's like flirting with danger?
Yeah.
He's like, you don't? just yeah. No, I do too.
Yeah.
I love that he always wants to try to rehabilitate her. Not in the same way he wants to rehabilitate like everyone else.
Where did she get the Panther from? Where do you think?
Oh, great. Another dude. He's dueling with swords, fighting a panther. I was like, dude, this is so peak Batman right now.
Yeah. And then in the end, she gets foiled by her
maid.
Her
she
maid.
mistreated.
Yeah.
Classic, dude. Classic.
Fun
and then this next episode, I thought this was interesting too. We have 2 dirty cops that we follow essentially. I really liked having this aspect of like, we saw the good guys, the bad, you know what I mean? Like we got players, and from my little research I did today, these guys are from the comics. in the golden
Are they?
era. Bullock is
yeah.
played by John DiMaggio, which is he's in all sorts of animated things. I think most notably he's Jake the dog. Yeah,
Jake the dog, yeah.
that dog. But I feel like anytime he's in something, I instantly recognize his voice.
Unmistakable. While we're sort of talking about tertiary characters, one that I wouldn't have seen because they don't have any dialogue, maybe in some of the news scenes, but apparently the 1940s Fleischer cartoon Lois Lane is often in the press circle. She's got like a little bow in her hair. So I don't know. Maybe in season 2 we could get a Brave and the Bold situation going with the 1940s Fleischer era Superman. That would be pretty cool.
Now this is where I struggle again. Do you think, like, with all they got letting on, I hope they would, but do you think they'd let him do a Superman in their world? They got a movie coming. They have an anime out right now.
Yeah, probably not.
They're like, stay away from Superman. He's got a lot coming up.
He's got a lot coming up.
That'd be fun, though. I mean, you know, we love Batman and Superman.
Speaking of, I got to shout out your shirt. Show the fans. This is your weekly reminder.
Daily reminder. Go look at YouTube. New Superman suit. Thank you, James Gunn. I bought it as soon as I saw it. I'm in. I'm in full force.
This is a full-on tangent. But do you think with the design of that Superman S, we will get at some point some kind of Kingdom Come storyline?
It looks like it, doesn't it? It looks just like that S.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know nothing about like Guardians of the Galaxy comics, so I don't know this for a fact. I have a feeling James Gunn takes a lot from different comics and puts it into a movie. He's not always like making an adaptation of a comic book storyline.
Sure. Okay.
So maybe we get that, but I think at some point we will definitely have elements of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. For those who don't know, this is getting real nerdy. Kingdom Come is an Elseworlds DC comic of, like 50 years, decades in the future of the DC universe. You have an older Superman who's sort of retreated, and there's essentially like a civil war of old superheroes.
That's great.
And now that I think about it, I think I have seen speculation online that his Superman movie, with the inclusion of these corporate superheroes,
could be taking themes,
fusing themes and elements from that.
So good.
James Gunn, what a guy. And so back to Batman. We talked about Superman last week. So Batman, the bad cops. Okay, this is like, I know there's dirty cops, but they released a fucking arson to be like, flush out,
draw out the bat. What did you think?
Yeah.
I have another note. Actually. This character, Firefly, was supposed to be played by Brendan Fraser in the scrapped Batgirl movie.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. Missed out.
That would have been fascinating.
That would have been fun.
Have you seen? I haven't seen the new Bad Boys movie. What is it? Bad Boys for Life or something?
With Will Smith and Martin.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence. There's a newer one out in the last year.
I don't know. I've seen any past one. So no, I'm not the right audience. Sorry.
But there's like a.
Where's this going?
Just give me. It'll connect.
Okay.
We're starting here. It's gonna end up
all
over
right.
here.
Yeah. Excuse me. I gotta let the process happen.
There's been clips from that movie, like these really intense action scenes. People are applauding like the directing work because they like attach this rig to Will Smith, and he sort of directs and acts, and he's like flipping this camera around, so it's like first person shooter kind of perspective.
I have seen this clip.
And,
yes.
Okay, you've seen those, and so the directors that directed that movie were the directors of the scrapped Batgirl movie. And so people are like,
damn,
this is peak action. And you still scrapped Batgirl? And I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool, but it does feel like a little gimmicky, but I would still very much be interested in seeing the Batgirl. But that was all around the same time, right? This
Yeah,
getting shopped out to Amazon, and Batgirl ultimately getting put in the vault. Yeah,
next. Yeah. Do you think we'll ever see Batgirl, that movie?
I don't. With the direction where they're like really coalescing into like one direction headed by
Yeah,
James Gunn. Unfortunately, I
not the
don't think
move.
so.
That's crazy. Yeah.
What do you think is more likely, the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad or Batgirl? I would say Batgirl.
I would say Batgirl.
Just
Yeah.
net
Okay.
new. They know it's not going to bomb.
Sorry, David. I know you're pissed to hear that,
He
but
started
it's not
tweeting about
happening.
it.
I
He
know
started
he's
tweeting
tweeting.
about it.
Not starting. He's been tweeting about it.
Well, he stopped. There was a. This was
He's
maybe a month
never
or two ago.
stopped.
He was
He's
like, "I'm going to
never-
stop
it's-
talking about this public." He's like, "I got to move on with my life." A couple weeks later, he's back at it. Twitter fingers turned to trigger fingers, man.
He's like us with superhero stuff. We're like, we won't cover it for a while now. We're back next week. Here we are.
Uh, random recall, but like Lois Lane, I'm looking at the voice cast, voiced by Grey DeLisle, Azula.
There
So she
was
must
an
have had
actual
some
Lois
stuff.
Lane character.
Yeah, in the show, she was in the press circle.
I didn't know she spoke. I thought it was.
I didn't know she
visual
spoke
gag.
either, but she must.
And
because-
she's credited as being Lois Lane.
yeah,
Oh, that's
on
sick.
Wikipedia.
I thought this was a theory. Hey, Wikipedia is God in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that it was an actual name. Oh, I'm seeing here. Haley Joel Osment was Anton Knight. Who is Anton Knight?
Anton Knight. I do not know. But one that I am seeing, we've talked about Batman the Brave and the Bold, and this is a fun little treat because I did spot the voice when I first heard it.
Yeah.
Harvey Dent is played by Diedrich Bader, who voices Batman in Batman the Brave and the Bold.
Oh, it sounded so familiar. Oh, that's crazy. Actually,
Diedrich
I love
Bader, famously of the Drew Carey Show. If anyone ever watched that,
that. You lost
Long
me on
time
there.
ago.
You lost me there. So just to go back to what I was saying. So Anton Knight, Haley Joel Osment, is the older brother of like the vampire girl.
okay.
Yeah. So we got some stars here. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. So we got to talk about the elephant in the room.
What elephant? Huh?
Bruce Wayne, Batman, is for the first time in a maybe not the first time, but is not voiced by. And now his name is escaping me. This is terrible.
Oh my God, you're not prepared.
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
That was awful. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. So in this show, voiced by Hamish Linklater. I don't know what he's been in. But we just got to talk about him stepping into the shoes of what everyone famously associates with Kevin Conroy. What did you think of Batman's voice actor?
It's definitely noticeable. It's not Kevin. You can feel the lack of it, but I think once you get used to it, I think Hamish, he did great.
Okay.
I really liked him as Bruce Wayne. I thought he nailed what I picture Bruce Wayne. Part of it, I think, I really liked seeing Bruce Wayne have to go to therapy. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
But so I give him a passing grade. What about you?
Gonna be a little, I guess, a passing grade, but I got to be a little bit of a stickler here.
Okay.
I think they were going for someone who could get that very bassy, deep register of Kevin Conroy,
Yes.
but it sounds like he had to try like pretty hard to get that low, and what you get as a result, a lot of the lines fall flat. They're pretty monotonous. Sometimes he sort of sounded like a H. John Benjamin to me, but less nasally.
I heard when he was Bruce, I could hear some of that, but I don't mind him. I like him.
I know. So
you were like, not my Batman though.
I would have rather gone just in a different direction. Like I don't think
Totally.
he was trying to do a Kevin Conroy impression, but it sort of came off like that.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Sorry to be a downer,
Yeah.
but gotta be a truthful
Gotta be
critic.
fair. Truthful
Yeah.
critic. Truthful critic. No. That's totally fair. So, okay, so that makes sense. So I think that Batman was best when he was using his fist, anyways. So sorry,
True.
Image.
Yeah.
We didn't even. Just kidding. So let's around the middle point here. Let's talk about Harley Quinn. What did you think about this adaptation of Harley Quinn?
It was bone chilling, man. It was awesome. And what I love is that they separated Harley Quinn from the Joker. I didn't sort of see that coming.
I didn't either.
They had teased, or like people had tweeted out the new design and saying it was a different take on the character, and it really, I mean, not entirely new, but like they very clearly separated it from the Joker. Joker is not in this season, has nothing to do with this Harley Quinn, and
he's not in this season.
Okay, but he doesn't play a factor in her origin in this, or her first appearance.
Correct.
At the very least, which I applaud. It was cool, and they lean more into the therapist side and less into the ditzy Brooklyn. Like, what is that, X?
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. I think when Bruce stole his file while they were in therapy together, and it was blank and it had the note with the smiley face, "See you next Tuesday," I thought that was one of the most badass things I've ever seen in a Batman. That was such a perfect dichotomy of the relationship these two have with each other. And I love Bruce just being like, I'm going to see what she's writing about me. Like, she did, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's an intel whore. You know what I mean? He's like, he can't not know everything. And so he's like, take this. And she anticipated it, which is brilliant. She knew just from talking with him. And I love at the end, she like put the book down and was like, look, I can tell you've been lying to me. Like, I know this is not who you really are. He's like, what? No, come on, Doc, sign my papers. I actually loved all of their therapy scenes. I thought that was one of the highlights of the whole series for me.
Yeah, and she's sort of interwoven with some of the other characters as well. She's a close friend to Barbara Gordon. She's dating Renee Montoya. What a complicated web they weave.
And then this was the one payoff they had. Everyone else stayed their normal selves. This is what was interesting about her, is it was a little bit of a different MO than just the Joker's chaos. She was trying to like rehabilitate like the worst of the worst in her eyes. She probably thinks she's the hero, in all honesty.
She was going after industry men, capitalists.
The worst of the worst. Yeah. I was like, yes, you go, Harley Quinn. But it's crazy. She had them all dressed up in different outfits. The big baby beat the guy dressed like the king up. I was like, oh.
That's again where the sort of tonal mismatch takes me out of it a little bit. Where like you have this chilling villain, and then she's got grown men, grown men dressed as
writing. I will not
babies,
lie. I will not lie. The Bart Simpson.
Okay. So, no, that was a really great episode. What did you think? So, spoiler alert. Sorry. She dies at the end of her episode, but she doesn't die. I feel like they could have let that simmer longer.
Is she dead? I could be missing.
She falls off the cliff, but then Renee gets a mysterious phone call at the phone booth.
She ain't dead.
So she's not dead. She's just got to skip town a bit. But that felt like Chewbacca dying in whatever. Yeah, the last.
You just don't like fake deaths.
Yeah. No, I think that would have been better suited to be the sort of end credit of the last episode, where they have the teaser for, spoiler alert, the Joker.
That, I already spoiled it. So ending with a Joker tease was so the Batman. Why are we doing this again? So look, I don't want to skip to the end here, but because we can go back.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the ending was the second weakest part of the whole show. The meat and the dressing and everything in the middle, that was fantastic. But the beginning and the end, I thought were kind of weak at points.
What are you considering the end? Like
the part two? Why did we?
Harvey
we explored so many interesting looks and new looks at interesting characters. Why did we end on two things we've just like totally seen play out before. The Harvey Dent stuff was almost nothing new, besides the fact that he was running for mayor, and then the Joker tease at the
end. It was
end.
the Dark Knight.
It
was.
We had so many interesting characters and like so many interesting villains leading up to that moment. How did we end with something that was? It just felt like they wanted to do something safe to me. And there was great parts in the finale, like when he grabs the gun and he almost shoots the dirty cop. I was like, oh, but then I was like, oh, great, he didn't do it. Like that was great. You know what I mean? So there's great moments, but the end story they choose to go with, I was like, is this really what we're doing?
Yeah, it fizzled out a little bit for me.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they do the Harvey Dent thing, and I think the last DC animated Batman movie, they've got a slew of newer ones, but I think the last one was the Harvey Dent. It was like The Long Halloween or whatever.
Yeah.
And it includes a Harvey Dent plot line or thread as a core part of it.
It was fun watching her defend him, even though she hates him. And she's like, I defend guilty people. This is what I do. And he learned his lesson, and he died. But like, once again, it was just like, man, we've done this not recently, but like it just was so
very famously done it.
It felt very weird that they had so many creative offshoots, and then they were like, okay, but we gotta end it. You know what I mean? Like they were like, we gotta end with like like something that the crowd's gonna love. And I was like, oh, I loved how creative this was, though. I think there was a chance, like, you could have ended with Barbara really turning to Batgirl, Ray Montoya really turning into the Question. There was so many really great ways I feel like this could have left off that the ending was a little disappointing, because I'm not kidding. Episodes 2 through, I'll even say 9, most of 9 I really enjoyed until I realized what we were doing, essentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And 10 and 1, I was just like, oh, man, okay.
And I would say it's sort of the opposite criticism we would normally apply, where it's like, yeah, the Adventure of the Week stuff doesn't really do it for me.
You're so right. Yeah,
we like the overarching plot, but in this one, I would agree. Like the middle couple episodes, when you get rolling into the Adventure of the Week, is fun because it's a slightly different take on everything. And then once
they're all still
get
growing and learning,
the same pattern. Yeah.
There's also, I mean, you can call this a strength, but since I'm ragging on it right now, I maybe won't. There was 80 billion foreshadows of Harvey becoming Two-Face. More than like almost any time he's on screen or he leaves he's at the carnival and he moves and then there's a two-headed man behind him. Like it's just everywhere. Everywhere he was on screen. Or if they only saw, he's like, you want to get on my good side. And I was like, come on. Also, I don't know why this bugged me. I had to look this up. They flip-flopped his good and his messed up side.
Oh. Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I looked it up. I know for a fact. What did you think of his, because it felt pretty different, actually, than most Two-Face takes.
Yeah,
what did
it wasn't
you think
like
physically?
two-toned. It was just like melted away.
Yeah, what did you think of it?
Yeah, it looked grotesque. I think it accomplished what they were going for.
I think I'm glad they didn't just fucking copy Dark Knight.
It wasn't pleasant to look at. I don't know.
Yeah. And this isn't to say I hate Harvey Dent. I think Two-Face is one of the most interesting characters. It just was like, it just felt very similar to famously The Dark Knight.
Especially with the whole season lead up into it, like the descent of Harvey Dent, like, spend
I actually thought he was going to be the mayor. I thought he was going to win the mayoral thing, and at some point in season 2, because once again there was just so many things they could have like chosen to make the payoff of the season that felt like a confusing one to me.
Yeah, and perhaps it's not a limitation of the form, but a limitation of the specific skill set that Bruce Timm has, and like. Or maybe it's DC. Like we talked about this a little bit before, but like you'll be damned if they give you any other news story besides like the Harvey Dent story, Superman versus Death of Superman. Like they have these 5 big hits that they fall back on.
Pitch me a different ending. What do you think? I get they're not bringing in like Lex Luthor as a surprise villain at the end. You know what I mean? Like they're not doing something totally off the wall or crazy. But with what we saw, what do you think would have been a better ending?
I say do like a 1940s rendition of a more modern character. What does Bane look like? I don't know. We've done Bane. We've done Bane in the mainstream. What about shit? There's Azurill. That's a Pokemon. There's like
Yeah, that's a Pokemon. What are you talking about here?
Azrael. There's like
Azrael, I think is like a maybe. Yeah. Okay. No,
Azrael,
I see.
okay, Azrael is a character that has taken over the Batman suit. He was like a more violent character. It was in the 90s. Not completely
He
insane.
pretends to be Batman.
Yes. Or no, he takes over the mantle.
Oh.
I think, yeah. That give us I guess we sort of got Dick Grayson. I just had another one on the tip.
They could have ended
Hush.
with
I feel like that's a new one that I don't remember much of. Red
They
Hood.
could have done like a Red Hood, a Court of Owls. I even
Court
think
of Owls. That would have been perfect for this.
that could have been great for this. I really think you could have picked one of the setups they had in the thing and made a story ending that way, like a very hopeful future for Batman. Like he's got new allies, the Bat family's coming type deal.
Sure.
Like I just felt like that was where I kind of thought it was going, and so maybe I did that to myself, if that makes sense.
Give him a 2-episode arc where he goes to the desert and meets Ra's al Ghul and Talia.
Okay.
More importantly,
Why is he going to the desert though? I don't know. Okay,
that seems tailor made to be in like the 1940s style. Like picture old
Yeah.
James Bond movies. You know what I mean? Like
I'm into
that
it.
would
I'm
have
into
been
it.
a fun detour.
I agree.
What's
I
your
agree.
pitch? What would you have liked to see? Or I guess for a season 2, where would you like to see them go?
I want to see these payoffs. The Question, Batgirl, the family, maybe even Plastic Man. Like that'd be fucking fun. Throw him in there. Plastic Man and Batman are fun because, well, in the comics he's a reformed criminal, and it's very much like Batman's philosophy of like, you don't kill someone, they deserve a second chance, even if they're a petty criminal. This man turned around his life and can save people now.
Is that his philosophy? Like I guess I never took him as someone interested in rehabilitation.
Why else does he believe in not murdering then?
Just letting the justice system carry out, but I don't.
What's the justice system designed for, Evan?
It's not great at rehabilitating.
But that's what. Okay, but that's like its whole.
Sure.
Like, hold on. Yeah, this is totally Batman's whole thing of like. Harley Quinn is a great example of someone he like refuses to give up on and eventually becomes like on his team. It's a great example of Plastic Man too. Maybe rehabilitation is not the right word, but like second chances. Like he doesn't believe.
He believes in justice. But I just never maybe saw the rehabilitation piece. But I see your point. I see what you're getting at.
Okay, you sounded like you're dismissing me, and I don't like it.
I'm not at all. I just never connected it to like him being interested in that piece of it. But I'm picking up where you're throwing down.
I don't have a car at the moment, so I'm getting a lot of things delivered to my house. Marty has made it so easy because not only are they fast and efficient, but they're the cheapest option out there by far.
I get these matcha lattes that retail for like $45 for a 12-pack. And I've never bought it full price. I get it on Marty for $15. Marty's woman-owned, sustainable, socially conscious, and eco-friendly. What they do is they buy up surplus inventory from the top brands that you love, and they sell it to you at a lower price, so you save food waste and you save money.
That was my first question, was how do they get these things so cheap? But they have a model, and it's passing savings on to you. They got hundreds of items, fast shipping, no subscriptions needed, and you can save on all the great food that you love. We do have a discount code when you go to marty.com/2dudeswatchcartoons, all one word.
TWO, dudes watch
TWO, 2 dudes watch cartoons, all one word. You can save $5 off your order.
Go to marty.com/2dudeswatchcartoons at our link in bio, or just plug in the promo code 2dudeswatchcartoons. That's TWO.
Dudes Watch Cartoons. Thanks for supporting the pod. Go get yourself some delicious snacks. Alex, go figure out the car situation. I don't know what's going on.
I don't need to with Marty.
Back to the episode.
Two dudes watch cartoons.
Okay. All right. Who was your favorite villain in the series, and why was it Automatopoeia? Just kidding. I had to mention him. I felt like we were going to go the whole episode without mentioning. This was a wild person to throw in here, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess it fits, but again, it takes me so out of it. Wham! Zap! Pop! At first I was like, is that Bullseye from Daredevil? Like,
It
who
did.
is this supposed to be?
That was my first thought, too. I go, oh, it's Bullseye. I
Like,
go,
that's
oh, wait, wrong
Not
medium.
a
Wrong
Batman
medium.
character. I'll leave Harley Quinn off the table because that seems like, the
Low-hanging fruit.
low-hanging fruit. This is tough. You know what I think would have been more interesting to explore is Corrigan, was that his name? He was one of the cops who was a dirty cop. But we think he's pretty altruistic through most of the season until he pulls the gun on
Yeah,
Barbara.
and you know what? He's another fucking reference. That guy eventually
Turns into the
becomes
Spectre?
the Spectre. Yeah.
Nice.
Which was
Gosh, we're
super
such
weird that
nerds.
he was. I know, we're such fucking nerds. Which was weird. He was the one that sold out Gordon. That was another. This is another strength. Automatopoeia be damned when we find out. The hit's not for you, Jim. It's for Barbara. Oh, my internal misogyny checked at the door. You got me good there. Got me good.
Yeah. That was a fun twist. Man, especially cuz he's shooting up all the gangsters with him for that whole episode.
Oh, I know.
Beautiful execution.
They got me. They got
Yeah.
that. This is what I'm saying is I think they nailed the noir mystery detective side. Batman's the world's greatest detective. He didn't have these sonar fingerprint scanning 3D
Yes.
model. Like he literally was just like show up at the right place and kick ass. I just
Yeah.
gotta know where to be.
I love that you mentioned that because that's one of the things I love about this show and this take, and I feel like yeah, I could say the same about the Batman the movie. Is that this show he mostly just uses a little lock picking set he got when he was 12 from
And a
Alfred
batarang.
and a batarang and his grappling hook and
All the
and, like,
grappling hooks, it gets him anywhere he needs to go. And it's so classic.
and in so much Batman media these days, especially in like the Justice League animated series, same creator and all that, but it turns into he's got jets, he can build anything he wants, he's kind of an Iron Man type character, but I think that takes away from like what makes this character fun is that like it's like the feeling that I could learn to pick locks. You know what I
100%.
mean?
Yes. No. It's not. He's smart. He's very smart, but he's not smart like a Bruce Banner or a Tony Stark. He's smart like a detective. You know what I mean? And so he's like a Sherlock Holmes who
He's a guy
also
you would want
kicks
on your
ass.
trivia team.
He's exactly the guy you fucking need on your trivia team. He knows a little bit about everything.
But yeah, that's what's so fun, and I love Chef's Kiss to the character design, which is really just sort of a callback to the original character design. Long ears like he has in Justice League show,
Yeah.
but he's just got gloves, just black gloves. They don't
were
go
great.
up his forearm. They don't have the bat, things.
Well, and it also
spikes
made
on
it
them.
was like, oh, it's not just like a head to toe suit, all connected. He's wearing gloves and boots. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like it was the 30s or 40s. I loved the vibe, the feel, the noir, the mystery. That was all highlights to me. Anytime we were working with shit like that, I was like, ooh, I'm here, I'm in it, I'm cooking.
Yeah. The other thing I really appreciated about this show, Alfred's just a butler.
Just a butler, and there's
He's not
a story with
ex-military
him. Is that-
assassin.
What is, we never got to it. Gentleman Ghost says he's got a deep, dark secret he's not telling you. We never got to it. What is the deep, dark secret? And so, yeah, there's the whole, we never touched on it, but Bruce like doesn't even fully trust him. Like
Mhm.
he is so lone wolf that it's not till the end of it that he's like, you know what, Alfred's here with me. So maybe the Bat family wasn't the right thing for this because he's such a loner right now. He hasn't even
Yeah,
embraced
yeah.
Alfred working
Yeah.
fully with him.
Very, very similar to the Batman. Matt Reeves, the Batman.
Actually, that's a good point.
His dark secret is that his family probably also owned slaves, like I assume Gentleman Ghost did. And
We also got to talk about young Bruce Wayne waking Alfred up in the middle of the night, being like, "We're
They're
going
gonna
to
pay."
make them all pay." Huh? What?
did you see that one? That was that.
I did.
I was like, I shit my pants.
Dad, I shit my pants. Alfred, I shit my
Alfred,
pants.
Pennyworth, I shit my pants.
I think that that was probably the cheesiest moment of the whole thing when the little kid stone cold fucking Shining style was like, "We're going to kill them all, Alfred." Or I don't even, it was dark whatever he said. I think it was, "We're going to make them all pay." But it was the use of all. Who? What? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Alfred right then and there fucked up and should have put him in fucking therapy right yet tomorrow. Sorry, kid. You don't get to say that and not go see a specialist.
Yeah. Man, I feel like we were far more down on this than I expected us to be coming in, even starting the episode. But overall, I don't know.
It's a lot of fun. It's
a ton of.
It's not perfect. It takes some swings. It holds when maybe it should be trying to swing at times. But the feel, the vibe, the execution, the villains, the Easter eggs, they're not rubbing them in your face, like, you know what I mean? Like, besides the Harvey Dent Two-Face shit, that one they did rub it in my face quite a lot. Besides that, it's very well done, and it's clearly made by just someone who reveres the Batman mythos like we do. So, yeah, while it's not perfect at all, and then it's just so, how do I put this? It's like, even if it was crap, clearly the people who made it care about it so much that like fans are going to find stuff to really like about it. But it's not crap. It's not crap.
Yeah. And it is a passion project through and through. Like, you can tell Bruce Timm loves Batman, the character. It's essentially been his entire career to this. It's his baby. And I applaud that. You know, I think sometimes they can't escape the DC tendencies to just fall back on some well-known hits. But on the whole, if you're a fan of Batman the character, this shit rocks. Like, I don't know.
You're going to love it.
Yeah.
You're going to watch it in 1 to 2 days. It's an easy 10 episodes, 30 minutes, not even probably. Yeah. Let's give it closing thoughts. And I know it doesn't have Letterboxd, but we'll still give it a out of 5 stars.
We'll give me the percentage. The tomato percentage.
Why are you always trying to mess with my math? Okay. You can start then while I do my calculations over here.
What did we watch last?
It was My Adventures with Superman.
Okay, and I gave that a 90%. Where would I put it relative?
Give your closing thoughts and it'll come to you.
This show should have been released by Warner Brothers. It should not have been tossed up in the air in the shuffle. It is a testament to the character, to the creative team behind it, to the storytelling power and the longevity of this character. And it cuts through the noise and like surfaces the stuff that is actually fun about this character. It's not that he has all these gadgets. It's not that he's James Bond. This guy just punches people, picks locks, and has a grappling gun that and does parkour. Like, that shit is awesome. That is all you need. The second half of the season lost me a little bit just because it hit some very, very familiar beats at this point. But the show on the whole is very well executed. Hamish didn't do it for me, but he had huge huge shoes to fill for Kevin Conroy. Rest in peace. And I applaud the effort. This show, what percentage would I give it? I think that is tough. I am going to give it an 89%.
Oh, okay. 89.
I don't know why,
really good.
but it's just like I just wanted more from it, whereas My Adventure Superman, like it gave me more than I expected from it.
Yeah, no,
So
no,
the
no.
matter of
There's-
expectations.
No,
Where's the
100%.
lane for you?
100%. For me, this is such a love letter to Batman, the character that we love. It is, like you said, it really cuts through the noise and boils down to the essence of why we love Batman in a tight 10 episode. I would have watched 22 episodes of it, though. It was fun. I'll watch it again. I can't wait for season 2. It was not perfect, and maybe I'm holding it to a higher standard because Batman Medium is so littered with like all-time greats. The Dark Knight being my favorite movie of all time, The Batman being just fucking phenomenal recently. Even these older adaptations of it. So I think it almost has a harder job than My Adventure with Superman.
Definitely.
And so I'm going to give it a solid 90. I was considering like that high 80 range, but I think I gave My Adventure with Superman like a 92 or a 93. So 90 feels like perfect to me, where I think, if you had added X, Y, and Z, taken out a couple of things, maybe gave me a couple more, which I'm never the one who's like, give me a payoff. Like, you know what I mean? I love when something's like drawn out, but like there was just so many episode after episode. I was like, hold on, which one of these is going to pay off here? So I maybe got caught up in my own expectations at times, but 90 feels appropriate. I love this. I think if you like superheroes, you're going to really enjoy this too. 90 feels good. And yeah, I just, like I said, I'm going to watch it again at some point. I enjoyed it a lot.
Random
Go
thought.
watch Batman the Brave and the Bold too.
Yeah.
Underrated show.
It left me wanting to watch more Batman stuff, which I
Yeah,
guess
that's
is like
what
the
more
job.
can you add? That's the job. That's what it was. That's what it's meant
What'd
to
you
do.
think of the Batmobile design? It was
That is
almost
the.
not
I
even
had a
Batmobile.
toy. I can't believe I didn't even say this. I had a toy as a child that was this Batmobile. So
And
when it
it's
popped
the
on
best
screen,
one.
oh my God, my memories. I was like, this is fucking amazing. Because you could drive this kind of as a car in that era and just probably be like a rich dude, but then it turns on the fucking jet in the back and you're like, oh, it's the Batmobile. I mean, one thing that was really fun was he kept inspiring Catwoman. Like it was a little cliche, like it followed the rule of threes, but then she had the giant car with the cat. I was like, all right, Batman's car is way cooler than this. I found myself
Yeah.
saying that in my head.
Yeah, I remember Batman the Animated Series, like the Batmobile starting out almost essentially not having bat adornments on it. Like, and I feel like as the seasons
very
went
similar
on,
to this.
they
Yeah.
added more fins and
Mm.
shit. But like, it's just like this Art Deco, like
It's great.
of the time car, and it looks awesome. Just wanted to shout that out.
Shout out to Batmobile.
I don't know. Should we look at some news?
Yeah. Do you want to get into all of your news first, or you want me to launch a big one first, then you can do it?
Launch a big one because I don't even know.
Disney, Pixar, Marvel, D23 announced 13 different movies. I'm going to list them all off for you, but I'm going to make the note before I do that only 2 of the 13 are original projects. We are looking at Moana 2, Avatar 3, Toy Story 5, Incredibles 3, Fantastic Four reboot, Zootopia 2, Frozen 3, Mandalorian and Grogu, Freakier Friday, Lilo and Stitch live action, Snow White live action, a new Tron movie, Captain America Brave New World, and a fucking Mufasa movie. And then the 2 original projects are Elio and Hoppers. Whew.
There's a lot in there.
That hurts my soul.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Let's
Ugh.
dig through the weeds a little bit. In there is a shining gem of a title, Incredibles 3. That
I know. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited for that too.
Brad Bird's
I
coming
think
back for it.
the fact that you're coupling it with all of these reboots, sequels, whatever have yous, it got a little bogged down. You're right. Incredibles 3, I'm going to love that. See it opening day. I'm going to be thrilled. but like,
Incredibles
holy
3,
shit.
Infinite Timelines of Incredulity, I think is the working title. They're going into the multiverse.
Oh,
Jack
he's in the
comes back
multiverse now.
as an adult evil villain.
Okay. Wait, is that? Are you just
No,
making this up on the
saw a
spot?
tweet
Oh my
making-
god!
I saw a tweet making that joke.
I was like, what the fuck? It just. I mean, I'll leave it at that.
I mean, this goes back to that, like Bob Iger on, it was like, well, maybe sequels are the way. We've been bombing for a
If
couple
this
of years
is
now.
any more proof that you need that they're going all in on this, like, I love Lilo and Stitch. We don't need a live action Lilo and Stitch. What is that going to add? What is
The
that?
title
Oh,
card that they tweeted
the
out.
Stitch looked good though. The
Looks
Stitch
good,
looked
yeah.
really good. Gave me hope for Chopper. I saw someone tweet that.
It
but
gives me
like-
hope for a Sandwich Stackers reboot. the best Flash game of all time.
Okay. Yeah, there better be at least one reference in the movie to that.
I'm surprised because normally I'm the cynic. Are there any
I'm
others
upset.
in there that are exciting for you?
I mean, I am excited for the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
I'm gonna probably see Freakier Friday. I'm not excited necessarily for it. I'm gonna see the original ones, Incredibles 3. I'll see Toy Story 5. You're gonna make me fucking go see Avatar 3. But like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not like really excited for much of this. Like Fantastic Four and Incredibles 3 are really it. Mandalorian and Grogu? Fuck no. I'm the opposite of excited for that. Lilo and Stitch, not excited for. Snow White, no. Tron, no. Captain America, I'll be honest, I'm only a little excited. And the Mufasa one, I want to puke. I don't even. Why do we
We're
need
gonna
that?
cover it.
Why
Yeah.
do we need that?
With original songs by Lin-Manuel Miranda? Why not?
A lot of stuff we're gonna cover here, though. So get ready
lot
to
of-
hear me
yeah,
just.
get ready. I feel like there's one I wanted to touch on in there, but Toy Story 5 is the one
Oh, they're
that feels a
taking
bridge
on
too far.
iPad
many-
children.
How
This
many?
is now. So look, I think that friendship. Second one, home. Third one, about like moving on. Fourth one is like about your place in the world and like your purpose beyond, or like your place in the world beyond your like your daily routine, your purpose. Fifth one, technology bad. Come on, there's no way. There's no way we've fallen from grace that hard.
Yeah, the Toy Story franchise, I feel like we've gotten all of the emotional juice
What more?
that's in
They
there.
they showed a picture. Woody's back. He's fucking
Did he
he's
leave
with the
at
crew.
end?
in
Oh,
in
yeah, I
4.
guess
That's the point of 4. He leaves.
He has his RDJ moment. I'm back.
He literally had his RDJ moment at D23. He fucking took off the alien mask and went, I'm back. He didn't even say that. He just fucking did the Jesus Christ
He
moment.
said, "There's a snake in my boot."
That's good.
Yeah, I don't know. It just.
Are we still employing Tim Allen also? Isn't that an issue?
I don't know.
They almost wrote him out at 4. He's got like 6 lines.
Yeah, Chris Evans is coming in for 5 now.
Oh, could you imagine?
That
That'd
would
be
be
so funny,
so-
actually.
that'd be
I'd
very
be,
funny.
you know what? I'd be into it, though.
Okay, if Chris Evans becomes the legacy torchbearer for Buzz Lightyear, who takes over for Tom Hanks? I feel like we might hit that. They're going to be cranking out Toy Stories forever now. They're going to hit
Who?
Fast and Furious numbers.
I mean, obviously, the top front runner would be like
Call.
Chet Hanks. In his Jamaican accent.
There's a snake in my boot, man.
No, I don't know. Like fucking Daniel Radcliffe. Let's see if he could do it.
Okay.
I literally, I'm so
No,
bad at these. I've realized.
It's Glenn Powell. It's Glenn
Oh.
Powell.
Yeah, no, great one.
Maybe
That
just
is
because
good-
we were
good
just
pick.
talking.
We were just talking about him. Great pick, great pick.
Yeah.
All right,
Uh,
that's my news.
okay.
What I think you have something you'd like to talk about. I'm here to listen.
Let me.
You don't? Do you want me to?
I sent you a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah, all that says. Warner Bros. Discovery just revealed that its TV networks are worth $9.1 billion less than they originally thought, which means that they've had a net loss of $10 billion in Q2 of 2024.
10 billion was how much they were arguing over in Succession, so you know it's a large amount of money. That's an obscene amount of money from one of the largest media companies in human history.
It's the second. I mean, maybe it's not the second at this point, but like other than Disney, anymore. It's Warner.
Yeah,
that's just astounding to me.
It's crazy. It is really
like what are
surprising.
What
like
are
I
they
said,
doing there?
That's what are they doing? Because they're making moves to try to like counteract this, and if anything, it seems like it's hurting. Yeah. One thing, I mean, and we'll never get over this, is how do you drop the HBO? Like, the HBO, whatever. That's fine. They are making so many foolish decision after foolish decision that it shouldn't be shocking that they've lost $10 billion, but just the sheer amount is shocking. But like, come on, what the fuck?
They shuttered recently CartoonNetwork.com.
That's
redirects.
the other.
So it's dead.
They got rid of CartoonNetwork.com, and I want to talk about how special CartoonNetwork.com was. Between the games, between just like the random, like I'm not kidding. It wasn't until I saw this like snippet of the website, I was like, holy shit, I spent so much time on this website. Between the games, between just like reading little factoids about the TV shows, and they fucking had a schedule bar across the top. So I'd log in and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch some Ben 10 later tonight. Like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Like this shit was peak television. And then I saw this tweet that was like, it is such a shame that there is no just free space for young adults to be on the internet that is not social media. And I was like, God damn. It just hit me hard. It hit me really hard because that was one where I spent so much of my goddamn time, like I said, playing these the Teen Titan game, dude. I logged more hours on that. I logged just as many hours on that as like Super Smash Bros. There was a Teen Titan game.
It was a side scroller.
Yeah, it's like a Mugen. They fight each other. It's just a 2D. Okay. It's like you have the 5 Teen Titans and then like the 5 villains you could play as too. It was so
Robin
lit,
with
though.
Fro's little discs. It's coming back.
Hell yeah, Robin with the Gizmo could do his little thing. Jinx had her beams. Yeah. I just think that Warner Brothers, you're really shitting the bed.
Is David Zaslav doing well at his job? I guess like that's what I can't tell. He's sort of like was brought in to cut costs and everything. So like part of me is concerned that like this is what internal stakeholders want, is like just shut everything down.
I have no idea.
And sell it for parts. But it's pretty unfortunate. Part of me feels hopeful for what James Gunn can do with DC stuff, but like even if that's successful, like I don't know. It's hard to reconcile the success of movies like Dune 2, Barbie, bringing James Gunn on to do DC stuff, and like the actual state of the company.
The actual flopping that's going on behind. Yeah, it is crazy. But I got hope. I got hope as well. So I think that I think there's good things to come. I think there's good things to come. So,
this one was a little funny. This is a different story, but the Army, the U.S. Army, says they spent $11 million. They made an $11 million promotional deal with The Rock, which didn't lead to a single new recruit, and 38 recruits ended up leaving because of it.
How do they know that? How do they know 38 recruits left? When they saw Black Adam, they were like, no, I'm not joining the Army anymore. How do they know? Is there an exit form where they say, why did you leave? And they say, Black Adam.
I'm sorry.
The hierarchy.
The hierarchy has changed.
I can't handle the hierarchy change here. That was such an interesting headline. I could totally see, knowing that it didn't bring in anyone new. How do you know it lost you 38 people?
Yeah.
That's a wild statistic. That's got to be the worst investment of all time, right? 11. Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah. So.
All right. I got some somber news now.
Oh, okay.
It hasn't happened just yet, but the Voice Actor Guild and the Animation Guild are hardcore preparing for a strike. At this point, it is nigh inevitable.
Okay.
And it comes down to, and we talked about this because we had a strike, was it a year ago now? Yeah, probably coming, it was, yeah.
Well,
We had a strike, so we talked about it then. It comes down to one thing. These studios will not, but I don't want to say one thing, but the main thing, because there's lots of intricacies to this, and I don't want to speak on behalf of all these people. The main thing I'm hearing that is holding things up is the discussion on the use of AI for working on scripts, doing edits to animation, stuff like this. And I think it's appalling that they're going to let it go to a strike twice to keep this. Like, the depths of corporate greed shock me day in and day out.
yeah. To fight tooth and nail to strip what remaining soul and heart you have
Why?
from an art form. Animation, the industry is already struggling so hard. So to force them to strike is terrible. The whole AI thing, it serves a market that I don't think is there. I think it serves investors because they hear a buzzword and they think, and sure, there are, I guess, shortcuts, but
I use some AI software for my work right now, and it helps. But like, I'm not in a creative field. I'm working in fucking insurance. Like,
write emails.
You know what
Yeah,
exactly. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me if you have a group of your most talented artists in all of America saying, no, this is a horrible, slippery slope. Do not even go down this path. I just don't understand not listening to them because you're like, well, it's going to save us money.
Yeah. And
art is so hard because Hollywood is all about commercializing art, where art like should not have this capitalistic venture that's attached to it. But even you and I, we're so guilty of it. A movie is successful or failure based on its box office gains and whatever. So like it
Batman v Superman is a success.
I
love that.
It just like
I mean, even taking
it's disheartening.
Very disheartening. But like AI as a product, there's not really a consumer. There's not a demand for it. There's no one's clamoring at the bit for like, give me AI generated art. I want to see Elon Musk in Ghibli style. Like
I want to see Smiling Friends season 3 all AI generated. What? No, you don't.
I want to see Deadpool and Wolverine if Wes Anderson directed it, but it's just still photos. Like there's no like, and it's so bewildering because like there's a big Google Gemini ad campaign, which is like their AI product running alongside the Olympics right now, and there's like the one commercial that stood out is like this dad that's trying to help his daughter write a letter to her, favorite athlete or whatever. He's like, hey, Google Gemini, help. My daughter wants to write a letter to, this is the literal ad. It's like, my daughter wants to write a letter to her hero, this whatever famous athlete. Can you help us with it? Rough draft. And it like starts typing or whatever. And it's like,
what are we doing here?
What are we doing here? Like,
you're not writing a letter.
One, you are going to do it for your daughter, or you're going to help your daughter, and then you're offloading that to Gemini.
Now you're outsourcing your job. Yeah, no, I'm totally
Gemini,
with you. Like,
help me parent right now. Like,
here's what I don't.
Nobody
writing a letter is not about the physical. Like, you know what I mean? The physical note itself is not the present. It's the words, it's the thought, it's the passion behind it. It's the handwriting, for God's sake. You know what I mean? Like, it's not fucking help me write a letter to my hero. Also, if you're writing a letter to anyone, your hero should be the easiest person to why just start listing all the reasons you love them.
Yeah. I was surprised to see Leslie Jones do an ad for Google Gemini. Obviously, money. I get it.
It's all
But
about the money,
it's like,
baby.
there was sort of similar vibes when like crypto was the big thing, and you would see like Matthew McConaughey talking, or like Matt Damon, or what, I forget who all did commercials for Larry David did one at one point, I'm pretty sure, that ran alongside a
He
Super
did.
Bowl.
Yeah.
But like AI is like even more reason for creatives to dislike it. So I was just surprised to see Leslie Jones do it.
Everyone's at their
But
price.
whatever, I can't hold it against her. Like,
Yeah.
money's, I don't
Money's
know. Money makes the
green.
world go round.
Yeah. So disheartening, but yeah, that's coming up here. Be prepared for that to happen in the coming weeks. I don't know. It's
What do we do?
I know.
if strike
I thought about
happens?
this. I'm not sure. Do we go
Live
back to
action
old
stuff.
properties
We're
again?
gonna have to
No,
cover
don't
the
even-
penguin, I guess. We gotta. We can't.
we have to. I
We
mean,
have to,
well,
we
guess
have
we guess we gotta do Daredevil.
Colin
Yeah.
Farrell.
Okay. I don't know. We'll talk about it.
All right.
Maybe we'll go back to old
Hey,
properties like we did
Pitch
before.
us some ideas.
Yeah, if you know of what we should do, let us know. I don't have
We'll
any more
start
news.
watching AI generated.
No, that's the opposite of what we should be doing. What you have anything else? I'm all good here. I'm
I
done.
got nothing else.
I'm out. Okay, I'm gonna wrap us up here. Go watch Batman, The Brave and the Bold. No, I'm just kidding. Cape Crusader. All right. If you enjoyed this episode, we have tons more. Go check out our backlog on Apple, Spotify, and on YouTube as well. Thank you for going to YouTube. Follow us at Two Dudes Watch Cartoons on Instagram and TikTok. And make sure you just leave a rating, review, whatever. We appreciate it. Always helps new people find the podcast, which helps us.
Yeah, if you enjoyed Batman Cape Crusader, I'm going to give you, Alex, a rec, and also our listeners a rec. Check out Beware the Batman. It was like a lesser-known CG, like a series that came out 2010s, I don't know. Pretty good, especially if you liked the Adventure of the Week type stuff, because they had some more out-of-the-box villains and stuff, and a pretty well-executed show. Check it out. Batman Brave and Bold is also classic.
That's like peak Adventure of the Week to me, because like
yeah.
there's
That
no
was awesome.
setup in between. He's just in the most insane, like fucking. Oh, okay. Batman got teleported to the past and has to work with Jonah Hex now. Cool,
Yeah.
got it.
That one was a surprise to me because, like, we were in college when that came out, and I was like, is this perhaps too kiddish? And I just, like, I had the time of my
Ate
life
it up.
watching that show.
Ate
We're
it
gonna have
up.
to cover it. That's the point.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have
But
to.
if you want to support the pod as well, you can head to the link in our bio. Buy merch. We have merch. We have shirts and stuff. You can get. We have hats.
Evan's wearing one.
I'm wearing one of them right now. Go back and check out our Batman, Two Dudes Investigate Batman episodes. We reviewed Batman the Animated Series, Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight, and the Batman when it came out. That was a very fun
Big event.
2-episode, 2-parter. What else? We have affiliate links. Just support us.
Go
Leave
check
us.
it out.
Leave a
There
tip.
was an ad. We
We're
did
getting
an ad,
desperate.
too.
I don't know.
Uh,
But that'll do it for this episode of Two Dudes Watch Cartoons. We will catch you next time.
Two dudes watch cartoons.
Don't tell him we're desperate.
Just being honest.